Welcome to episode 3 of the podcast, Exiled. My name is Jordan. I'm recording these myself until we get a host to record them, and I'm also using this as material for people who are going into our art therapy training program, which is free. The idea is that we would get you paying clients and that you would offer your services free to children in Ukraine. But if we can't get you clients, then we can just pay you to do that. It's just we're hoping to do that for free because then we can reach a lot more kids with our therapy, which is done over Zoom. Okay, so let's talk about where we left off. We were talking about Jung and these 4 stages last time, and we were relating that to conflict. We can talk for hours about that. And if you're interested, please reach out to me so we can. But what we're talking about now in this episode is the idea of not rushing to suppress, agree, or disagree. We call that SAD. If you rush to suppress, agree, or disagree, then you're going to probably put on a power mask or a serenity mask or an HAD mask, which is helpless and devoted. That's when you appear helpless and devoted in order to get love. And the other is I can fix it with my power, or I'm not bothered. And they're all strategies to get love. And we go on Cartman's drama triangle, where we're the persecutor to ourselves or others, the rescuer to ourselves or others, or the victim to ourselves, life, or others. And so the response that we recommend is called ICBM. It's not intercontinental ballistic missile. It's ideal parent figure. That's the imagined parent that's wise and kind, compassionate. And the compassion is the C in ICBM. And then beginner's mind. So I guess we could call it IBM if you want. In any case, this episode we're going to go into what we talk about for the training. This would not be shared with a client because we're talking about Ramana Maharshi's method of self-inquiry by asking, who am I? We can also ask who is having this experience. And the idea is not to answer these questions. Right? Because when you answer those questions, that's when you are on Cartman's drama triangle, when you're one of the 3 masks, where you're identifying with some outer trappings of your image, and then you're going to start to wonder, how is that image that I am, right? So this idea is you're asking, who am I? You're not answering it. And for ourselves, and definitely for clients, it's wise to first do shadow work on our psyche. If we try to use who am I or who's having this experience, there can be spiritual bypassing or a rush to answer the question. The idea isn't to answer it. You're not any of the masks. You're not the persecutor. You're not the rescuer. You're not the victim. Cartman's drama triangle. You're not the id, ego, inner superego, or Freud. You are none of the types described in transactional analysis. And in the manual, we go through what those different types are, and we relate them to tamas and rajas. And those can be very useful in our therapy because you're tapping into what the subject or the child is experiencing. So once you understand and you pass the test about transactional analysis and the masks and write some essays about how you would use it, then we know you're ready for deployment into the field. And the manual goes into greater detail with that. So this question, like, what is this thing called I who's waiting for the next thought? You'd never share that with a child or anyone going through trauma. It's too complicated and also too simple. But that's kind of the basis by which we have creativity, by not knowing who we are. We're just waiting for the next thought to arrive. And that can be expressed in art in more subtle ways, and thus a kind of a transmission. If you introduce that question to someone who's got an unwanted feeling, image, thought, or situation, we call that fits, it's not going to be ideal. So art can be largely used to engage the ideal parental figure. It can be as a mentor or a guide or as a mediator or as an angel if the person's religious. It's just basically a voice inside your head that's always on your side, and it's trying to help you find peace. And it does that by not picking a side. That's what's happening in the mind. Usually when we're not so conscious, we rush to pick a side of the negative adapted child, negative free child, persecutor, rescuer, victim, one of the masks. We're trying to pick a side and suppress other things. When you suppress, or even if you agree or disagree, you're just going to get tension and you're not going to be receptive. So then your answer to who am I will be someone who's not very happy, or someone who's not very good, or someone who's happy due to these circumstances that I must protect. So the book goes into more detail about this, but really, the question is, who's here now, behind these eyes, waiting for the next moment to arrive? And that helps us reach a state of maturity, but you can't really ask that question until you have a state of maturity. The book goes into greater detail, and my hope is that you can get a free PDF on it, but my hope is that you'll actually pay for it, because then that money can go towards the work that we're doing. And I'll just leave it with a dot on the screen. I'll take a screenshot of it. And the idea is you just rest your eyes on the dot and you notice what is arising, and then you bow to it. You bow down to whatever that is. Because part of your mind is monitoring for, am I understimulated? Am I overstimulated? Do I like this stimulation? And we bow down to that, but we ask that part. It's a very powerful part. It's monitoring at all times, preventing boredom as well as preventing stress. Not very well, but it's trying to prevent stress. It's trying to hold on to the things that make us happy and get rid of the things that don't. It's very powerful. But if we bow down to it and say, we honor you, we see you, but what if you were to ask a question of, who am I? Who am I? What is it that is waiting for the next thought? And don't answer it. It would be relaxing for this monitor, and it would be a way for the monitor to experience what it's actually trying to get to, which is a state that's not overstimulation nor understimulation. Thank you for listening. See you next time.